Hello everyone. Well, here's a topic I haven't covered before. It's about the Borg and Cybermen. Now these are fictional, basically species in two different fictional universes. The Borg is from Star Trek, most know, and the Cybermen are from Doctor Who. Now the Borg were actually inspired by the Cybermen. Those who saw the Cybermen in Doctor Who before when Star Trek introduced them basically wanted to make something like the Cybermen, but something more realistic. I've always been fascinated by science fiction, and the Borg and Cybermen are some of my favorite, two of my favorite species in any universes, really. And I know multiple science fiction universes. Now, why do the Borg and Cybermen fascinate me? I've always felt an interest in kind of electronically upgrading human beings. Not like I want to do it myself or I want to do it on other people. It's just the idea of it is interesting to me. Adding computing power to our brain, connecting our brains through cybernetic implants, things like that. So far, the only experiment that I know about is one guy did try to hook his brain up to the internet, and he basically had the surgery of putting a chip into his head that was connected to the internet, and basically it didn't work because the neurons in the brain being connected to, I don't want to say fiber optics in the right word, connected to an electronic device that connects to the internet just didn't work out because we don't really understand the neurons in our brain. We don't understand how to increase the capacity of our IQ, of our memory, of our brain's lifespan. It basically dissolves over time with our entire body. But you know, I'm not I'm not great on science and medicine, so I'm not going to make myself look like a fool by going into it. But these things have always interested me. The idea that we can get rid of emotion completely, that's something that has been a fascination for psychiatrists for a long time. And it's something that I've had experience with too. Being schizophrenic, I've had extreme emotions for a lot of my life. And I don't really want to make it about that. I just want to talk about these two species. But you know, we do that with medication now, but what if we had like an on and off switch where we could either turn on our emotions or amp them up, lower their intensity, change their direction? And would it be easy to hack into other people if we did that? That would be very interesting. Now, another part of the Borg and the Cybermen that I want to talk about, or rant about rather, is the idea that uniformity creates an upgraded society. This is more of a philosophical idea, that uniformity is more effective. This is the philosophy of the Borg and the Cybermen. And once again, the Borg are from Star Trek, and Cybermen are from Doctor Who. The idea that uniformity makes a more efficient societal machine, that you can accomplish more when everyone basically follows one directive, one basic idea put out by, in the case of the Cybermen, it's the cyber controller, or a cyber controller. In the case of the Borg, I believe it's the Borg Queen, who seems to feel emotion in Star Trek. But, of course, her head and her spine are kind of taken out and put in her body. From place to place. Whenever she wants to be mobile, she gets put into a body. And the Cybermen, the funny thing about the Cybermen is that they always stay in their shells. Of course, they're all linked to the same cyber network. They always stay in their shells, but they move around so goddamn slow. And the Borg and the people who wrote the species of the Borg copied that. They move so slow, which doesn't make sense to me. Now, there's later on in one episode of Doctor Who, the Cybermen move a lot faster. They can actually basically, it looks like they're phasing from one place to another, but they're just moving really fast in the same clunky fashion, but just really fast. One step after another, so fast you can barely see them. But that's much later on in Doctor Who. It's certainly not at the beginning of the Cybermen in Doctor Who. But the same clunky uniform motion that they do when they're walking is hilarious to me, and it doesn't really make a lot of sense. I would think that upgrading the body with cybernetics would make it not only think faster or and more be able to vastly connect to other platforms, other Cybermen or Borg, but also move faster. I mean, that just seems logical to me. That's something that is always a little comical. as my opinion of the Borg and Cybermen are concerned. But another philosophical idea that I found interesting with the Borg and Cybermen is that they don't really want to destroy things. They want to make them a part of their own species. The Borg say they want to assimilate. The Cybermen say they want to upgrade. And this is actually very merciful from their point of view. They're trying to get rid of our emotions that cause us so much pain. The Cybermen say a lot, and the Borg are trying to assimilate us so that our technological and biological significance can be added to their own, and uniqueness can be added to their own. But really, it just seems to dissolve into whatever the Borg are. They don't really seem to change a whole lot from what I've seen in Star Trek. I mean, they have minor changes in composition and in queens, I guess you could say, but they don't really seem to take full advantage of any kind of biological uniqueness, even if they technologically take full advantage of that. But it's always been interesting to watch in science fiction how people think that robotic humans would exist. How we would be if we were all uniform, if we had no emotions, if we all were just basically cogs in a machine. And philosophically and politically and even religiously, many leaders have tried to do this in the past. Now they don't call it the same thing the Borg or the Cybermen might, and they make grandiose claims of what this can do for humanity. But in truth, this has been an idea that humanity has been playing with for a very long time, and I think it's natural to want one's own group to grow, to be bigger, for more people to be part of one's group. Now it's natural for most people. I don't see it that way. I think that all of the uniqueness in humanity, different ethnicities, different political structures and ideas, different philosophies, different religions, I think that all that uniqueness is what has gotten us even 100 years forward from the start of recorded history. We wouldn't have gotten anywhere if we were all uniform, because it takes imagination to truly upgrade. To truly take advantage of uniqueness, you must be open to it. You can't just say that you're going to take advantage of it once they're a part of you, and you just take all that uniqueness away first, and then they're a part of you, and then you want to take advantage of it. It doesn't work that way. And this is a lesson that I think that we should learn from the Cybermen and Borg. Not necessarily from them, but the message that their existence in their fictional universes are trying to convey to us, or at least that's the message that I took, is that it does take uniqueness and not uniformity. Now, there's some ways that I'm sure we can upgrade our bodies. I'm sure there's different ways we can connect our bodies, but it's also a warning. These two species in different fictional universes are also a warning that we have to be careful about how much free connection and complete connection plays a role in our society. What do I mean by that? When we are active online on our computers, how much of it is monitored? Now this may seem like a few steps down from our brains being connected, but how much of our information is monitored? How much are governments around the world expecting us to share with them, or thinking that it's their right that they know everything about us? And it's probably more than we even realize. Now it's not a big deal for somebody like me who doesn't really have anything, isn't involved in anything illegal, but the idea of the freedom of it, you should be able to choose to have privacy, even if you should be able to choose to have privacy, even if you're not doing anything illegal. And that's a right that I think all human beings should have. Now, if we were to assimilate into a culture where everybody was expected to be uniform, there would be no privacy. There would be no separate individual activity that wouldn't be monitored or even punished. Very Orwellian idea is what I'm getting at. But once humanity gets to a point where technology and the human body start to merge, that's when these hurdles are going to become very, very real. They're going to become a part of our distant future, and they're going to become a part of our progress. Now, I don't think that we're going to get to a point to where it's like the Cybermen or Borg, where like one group is going to be like the Cybermen or Borg, and then they're going to try to assimilate everybody else. I don't think we're going to get to that level, and if there's any danger of that, I doubt it'll last very long, and I wouldn't want that to happen. But there's certain ideas of uniformity that we see reflections of throughout history, whether it be religious or political. I don't want to get into specific examples because it'll end up being more of a political video than I want it to be. But these two species have given me a lot of food for thought about what an individual is, what uniformity can offer, and really how separate are we in our activities, just even on the internet, online, in our computers' information. I'm a writer, and nothing that I write is proposing any violence, but how easily could it switch to a philosophical or political idea that the leaders of my country don't like? How easily could laws switch it to where even having the wrong political or philosophical religious idea could basically turn the country's establishment against you? And I don't think we're as close to that as some people say, but I believe it is a danger, and that's going to be the first danger of I guess technological assimilation is going to be our activities in the technological universe on the internet, or even just in our not even connected to the internet. But that's a conversation for another day. But this has just really been a rant on Cybermen and Borg and their relation to what we are and what we're going to be, and kind of drawing some comparisons. I know it's kind of random. This video is very random, but I hope you enjoyed it, and if you want to comment on anything I said or engage me at all, go to that comment section down there, and if you like this video, hit that thumbs up. But thank you very much for watching, and y'all have a great day.